Today I'm going to teach you guys how to press fuel injectors out of the rail without damaging the pintle tip. As you can see here, they're really fragile. With age they like to crack, so be especially careful when handling the fuel rail so you don't set it down really hard on the pintle and crack them. They're not very changeable. The phase 2 style is, however, it's like $1 per the cap. These caps affect the spray pattern atomization of the fuel entering the chamber, so you want to have them intact. First, we'll start off by removing the cap screws. It's really good to replace these with a hex head, Allen head, for easier removal in the future. Also, if you use a ball-ended Allen head or hex head, both the same thing, you'll be able to remove these at a slight angle, and that'll allow you to remove these screws with the plenum potentially on. You'll just have a wider range to be able to remove them. Although I always suggest to do the plenum pull, press the injectors out properly. It's just so much easier. If you've done your coolant bypass and whatnot, it should only take you about 2 hours or so to take the plenum off, especially with new hoses. It's not too bad. So to address some issues here, sometimes these screws do get stuck. I'm going to go over to an injector with the old screw. So sometimes when dealing with the original Phillips head screws, you'll strip them really badly because they'll get stuck into the fuel rail from corrosion. And some people tell you to just slot the screw. I've actually had really poor success with that, but I did find a method that's basically the solution for that. And you just use some vice grip pliers, adjust them properly with the fuel rail out preferably. You just grab the head and then you just break them free. You'll have so much more grip this way, and I was able to get 100% of my bad screws out with seriously zero effort. So this is the way to go, but you can't really do that with the plenum intact. There's just not enough room. So once you have your cap screws out, just be aware when you're removing them to lift straight up and maybe slip a finger under there, because underneath there you'll have your rubber insulator and also a metal insulator piece. Those always fall if you're not careful lifting away the cap. So just a heads up, you might want to keep track of those. Go ahead and pull the screws out of the injector cap. We're going to use those to help us press the injector out of the rail. And we're going to thread those screws in about 1 turn, so after they bite, because you want the maximum amount of length sticking out. To press the injector out of the fuel rail, I use an 11mm socket. This is a 12-point deep socket, not a 6-point. Carefully put the 12-point socket over the end of the pintle and put the injector cap over the top. Once you have the socket and your injector cap in place, you'll be able to press the injector out of the fuel rail. One thing to note, make sure that the injector connector isn't going to hit the teeth of the vise or hit anything else on its way out. Once everything is in place, you can go ahead and tighten your vise, and you should be able to see the injector come right out. Right at about this point, you'll start seeing the O-ring and the pressure will be released, so be aware you may have to catch some parts. Right about there is all you need. You'll feel everything lightening up, and you can go take everything out of the vise. We're going to do the last bit by hand so that nothing drops and you don't damage your injectors. Take your 11mm socket and you're going to press out the rest of this by hand. You're just defeating the lower O-ring at this point. Once you hear the click, clear your socket so you don't damage the pintle. And you may have to give a couple light twists to remove it the rest of the way. And there you go, without damaging the injector. So I hope the video helped you guys out. I can't even recall how many people have asked me that question of how to press them out without damaging them. I had to kind of learn myself the hard way. I ended up damaging probably the first 8 or 9 injectors I was doing, just trying to find different ways to take them out. I mean, part of that could have been handling the fuel rail and setting it down on the concrete, which was a big no-no. Just in general, they were pretty old injectors. They were 24 years old, 1990, early 90. So, hopefully that helps you guys out. I'll try to answer most of your questions that you guys give me. If not in the comments section, I'm pretty good about that. So, let me know if you have another problem area on your Z, and I'll make another video for you guys. Alright, take it easy.
Alright, now we do extreme close-up. Oh, that's not quite extreme enough. Oh, finger!
You need zoom.